now turn to Senator Grassley. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your leadership on this issue. I don't think this is something that you have been mildly involved in. I think this is something you've been actively involved in for a long time. So we welcome you to the Commerce Committee.
Thank you for the invite to appear. And I hope this committee will have the same success that they had last session.
Is his button on?
Of voting this bill out of committee.
I pull it a little closer.
Oh,
yeah, thank you.
Sure, I can do that.
Thank you.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
I hope this committee will have the same success voting this bill out. As you've said, I've been involved with Big Pharma for a long time. As chairman of the Finance Committee, I hold Big Pharma and PBM executives before that committee. I partnered with Senator Wyden on a 2-year investigation into insulin price gouging. Our investigation found that PBM scheme encouraged drug makers to spike the drug's list price in order to offer a greater rebate and then in turn secure priority placement on covered meds at the expense of many patients, because I believe, like Senator Cruz just said, that the consumer ought to be the point of everything that we're trying to accomplish. And of course, then lastly, I've worked with bipartisan reforms to lower prescription drug prices, like I'm working with you, Senator Cantwell. But there's more that we can do. Imagine a world where a cheaper product, yet equally effective, has a harder time selling. That's the prescription drug industry. One of the primary reasons for this is pharmacy benefit managers. Recently, as an example, a biosimilar competitor to the high-cost Humira drugs entered the market. While its competitor offered a 55% discount to its list price, the competitor cannot access patients. Why? According to the Wall Street Journal, quote, PBMs and health plans are expected to prefer the more expensive version to get higher rebates. So, if you wonder whether you heard that correctly, PBMs are blocking a cheaper product. This mirrors what my insulin investigation found, now playing out with other drugs. PBMs will claim that they pass savings to consumers or through lowering premiums, but their spread pricing and their clawback tactics prove otherwise. Now, for your local pharmacists, and I'll bet whether it's Texas or Washington, you hear about signing a contract at the beginning of the year and then at the end of the year getting a bill for thousands and maybe tens of thousands of dollars to pay back. That doesn't make sense to me. When PBMs go with a higher priced product, consumers may pay more out of pocket before the deductibles kick in or through co-insurance. Today, three PBMs control 80% of the market. Now that's why you hear me talking about the 4 big cattle slaughtering companies controlling 85% of that slaughter, so the independent producers in my state can't get a market because the big feedlots to Texas eat up 85% of the daily kill. So we must do something about a powerful middle people to lower drug costs for consumers. In 2018, I asked the Federal Trade Commission to assess consolidation in the pharmaceutical supply chain and its impact on drug prices. It took until last year for the FTC to take action and even start studying PBMs. It's welcomed action, but it is not enough. To ensure a timely FTC report, last week, the Judiciary Committee passed out on a voice vote, along with 4 other bills that we passed out affecting the pharmaceutical industry. And we did it by voice vote, called the Prescription Price for the People's Act, also something that I'm partnering with you on, Senator Catmull. It requires the FTC to study pharmaceutical intermediaries and issue a report and recommendations to Congress within 1 year. A timely report on PBMs is critical, but we can't stop some competitive action behavior right now. The Cantwell-Grassley PBM transparency bill directs the FTC to end well-known and documented PBM practices that drive up consumer price, namely spread pricing and clawbacks. Both actions game the system and hurt consumers. Our bill has guardrails. It doesn't give FTC any new power or regulatory authority. And listening to what Senator Cruz says, I want to comment from this standpoint. If you would see where Senator Cantwell and I first talking about this in July, before the bill got out in September, you would see that this is a very, very narrow approach to this PBM problem through FTC, because I'm like you. I don't want to give FTC more power, and if we give them more power, make it circumscribe it, very much so. So I just hope that you'll take that into consideration as you look at it. So I want to repeat that little part I just read. Our bill has guardrails. It doesn't give FTC any new power or regulatory authority. The bill also puts sunshine on PBMs. Passing the PBM transparency bill is an important step to lowering drug costs. Thank you. And I guess I thought I was going to get done in 3 minutes, and it took me 6 minutes. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Senator Grassley, we so appreciate your articulation of why the legislation is drafted the way it is. You're right, you and I had a conversation. I was looking at a broader anti-manipulation authority, which the FTC has used in other areas, and Senator Grassley said, no, let's get very specific about these activities. And so our staffs worked together over a long period of time to focus this so that the actions taken were very clear. So anyway, thank you for being here. I don't know if you have any questions on that. If not, Senator Grassley, thank you very much for being here today.